The Man Whore Podcast is sponsored this week by Motor Bunny, the Ride on Top vibrator. Get $50 off a Motor Bunny starter kit at motorbunny.com by entering the code MANWHORE at checkout. The Man Whore Podcast is brought to you by mybookie.ag. Get a 100% deposit bonus for all your online gambling with promo code MANWHORE at mybookie.ag. Now let's get to the show.
Welcome to the Man Whore Podcast.
Thoughts and prayers to all those who lost their lives and were injured in Las Vegas this week, and my thoughts to all of their family members. This is Billy Persida. You are listening to the Man Whore Podcast. All right. Okay, what's up, everyone? How you doing? Welcome to my show. If you are new to the program, this is a podcast where I typically talk to women I've hooked up with about sex, dating, and why we didn't work out. However, this week's two guests I've hooked up with neither of these people. That's never happened. I still haven't met one of them in person yet, but I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. This week, I have got the co-host of the very funny podcast, Sex Talk with My Mom. Guess what that podcast is about? Yeah, I've got on Cam and KarenLee Potter. They are a son and mother duo who do a sex podcast. And it's very fun. I did an episode of their podcast, which came out a couple weeks ago. I highly recommend you go check that out. And then after we recorded part one, essentially, for their show, we recorded a part two for you people. So you're going to enjoy that, and I can't wait to share them in a bit. But first, show dates, people. Show dates. All right, look, if you want to come see me do stand-up comedy, go to manwhorepod.com/comedy. You can see all of my upcoming show dates there. But really, the only date that matters right now is this Sunday, October 8th in New York City. We are doing the very first Man Whore Podcast live. Oh, man. It's going to be great. It's at the People's Improv Theater on 24th Street. It's going to be me on stage with four of my exes. Yeah, because I need to hear you're a little condescending over and over for it to really sink in. Tickets are still available at manwhorepod.com/live, or you can buy tickets at the door. If you are a listener, if you're a fan whore in the greater New York City area, I really want to see you out there. I want to make this first one a memorable experience, and I really want to pack it out. It's going to be a great time. So if there's ever been a time when you've been like, I kind of want to see Billy perform, this is the show to go to. All right, this Sunday, October 8th. That show, of course, is part of the bigger Man Whore Con weekend, which, I am stoked for. So excited to be hanging out for 2 days of whore hangs with some very loyal, very dedicated listeners. And I'll surely fill y'all in on how it goes soon enough. But again, if you're interested in just seeing me do stand-up comedy, you can't make the live show, go to manwhorepod.com/comedy. While you're over there, sign up for the mailing list. I mostly just send a monthly newsletter. It has a lot of really great, fun, awesome giveaways and news updates about me, my life, and this podcast. Let's get to your emails, people. Your emails. Let's get to your words, your thoughts, your questions, your queries. All right. This first one is a Facebook message on the Man Whore Podcast fan page. Comes from Caleb. Hey, Billy. My name is Caleb. I found your podcast through a friend. Listening to your podcast has helped me through a lot of things. I can really identify with a lot of the stuff you talk about. I'm a trans guy and I'm attracted to women. I found that I learn a lot through you, so I just felt compelled to reach out and let you know that you are reaching a bigger community than maybe you know and doing a lot for people out there. Keep being awesome, bro. I plan to pledge to your Patreon when I finish paying off my top surgery, and I look forward to hearing more great things from you. Wow, Caleb. Thank you so much. That is a very kind message to say. Yeah, I never know what factions of the LGBT community I'm reaching. So it's nice to know that there's a wide spectrum of fan whores out there in the world. And congratulations on confirming things with that top surgery, sir. Okay, this next email, this one was titled episode 161. That's all it was. And we're going to say this comes from a woman named C. C writes, I recently listened to episode 161 where in the intro you discussed the Netflix original series 13 Reasons Why. You also discussed your struggle in high school with everything you were going through. You helped save my life, Billy. I had been depressed for the majority of my life, but when I entered my junior year in high school, I was diagnosed with a chronic illness that affected my well-being drastically. I was almost gone and attempted to commit suicide 2 times, each time unsuccessfully. During that time, I also developed an eating disorder, and I was just so angry. I grew up in a middle-class family that was portrayed as perfect. And then there was me, and I did not understand the reason for life. The town I lived in never talked about mental illness, and it was pretty looked down on. It was my senior year, and I decided that after I graduate, I was going to kill myself for sure and effectively. It was the winter, and I was tired of listening to ads on Spotify when I discovered that Spotify had a podcast section. Your podcast name caught my attention, and I started, and being able to just listen to someone actually funny and someone who talked about real-life problems. I found a passion in health education, and I found a purpose. Instead of laying in bed and staring at a wall for hours, I would listen to your podcast and laugh and take notes, and I started a club at school that helped promote proper sex education, and now I'm in college. I had never even imagined being here alive, and now I'm studying to be a health/sex ed teacher. I guess what I'm trying to say is thank you. C. Wow. And, oh, wow. It did it again reading this email. I originally read this email on my way driving to Ithaca for a comedy show, and it brought me to tears in this diner I had stopped at, and it got me feeling emotional again. And C, I am so glad that you wrote in. I am so glad that you are still here. I certainly didn't get into the changing lives business. I still believe I'm just a comedian with a fuck cast. But, if me crying on mic at 5 a.m. helps someone, that's a beautiful thing. I'm glad you haven't given up. And, I hope you continue to do so. And also good on you for being proactive and starting a club that helps promote sex positivity and proper sex ed at your school. That's awesome. We need more of that. We need more people doing that. We need more people starting these sex positive clubs and more people talking about sex openly and possibly more people booking me to speak at said clubs. Whores gotta eat. But by the simple act of talking openly and honestly, and especially in your age group, maturely about sex around your peers, you're going to make a lot of differences and you may never even notice them. I mean, it's as simple as if you're talking openly and honestly about sex toys, it's not a big deal and not taboo, someone may just internalize, oh, wow, she's talking about vibrators it's not shameful. So maybe it's not shameful if I have a vibrator. And wait, maybe now I'm going to get a vibrator. And I'm not going to feel super weird about it because, these people are not talking super weird about it. And it can be that subtle, the change you can make in someone's life by just talking about sex and dating and love and butt stuff, just with your average person. So good on you for that. And again, thank you for writing in and thank you for being here. And yeah. If you want to make Billy cry with an email, or if you have comments or questions, anything, shoot me an email at manwhorepod@gmail.com. Love hearing from you. Love waking up to your words in the morning. I want to give a shout out to Crash Pad Series. If you don't know what that is, it's a porn site, but it's a very queer, feminist porn site. On the front page of the website, it says Crash Pad is the Bay Area hotbed of queer sexuality. I'm doing this new thing where every month I'm going to hashtag pay for my porn. Yeah. Every month I'm picking a different site somewhere within the porn industry where I can throw a few dollars, anywhere from $15 to $30 each month. I'm going to dedicate to paying for something in porn. So I thought the first place I would pay would be Crash Pad series, partially because 7 Man Whore podcast guests have shot with Crash Pad. Nikki Silver, Nina Hartley, Milka Halili, Andre Shakti, Kitty Stryker, April Flores. I'm probably forgetting somebody. So there's a lot of great people I know have shot with them. I was like, okay, let's start with that. But it's also very much not the type of porn I would typically watch. A lot of trans women, a lot of kink, a lot of armpit hair, a lot of alternative type of sexuality. They also use condoms on all of their toys. So like I'm seeing women use magic wands. I'm seeing women use Hitachi wands, but like they're putting a condom over the head of it. So it's just very different from what I normally would find or seek out on Pornhub. But fuck, it's so hot. So I recommend Crash Pad series. I was pleasantly surprised by how into it I was. And that doesn't mean I was only watching Crash Pad. Yes, I still watched some stuff on pirated tube sites. I was still watching stuff on Reddit. I was still jerking off to Titty Tuesday in the champagne room. But like I found myself constantly checking out Crash Pad series. And it felt good to do so. Felt like I'm doing the right thing. Also, if you do get a subscription to Crash Pad series, if you do pay for a month, watch the movie Super Freak. It's fucking awesome. It's a full-length porn film, and the premise is that there's a party, and the spirit, the ghost of Rick James, is at the party and possesses various women at the party, and it causes them to have like a bunch of hot super freak sex, and then the soul exits the body and they like forget what happens, and then it goes back in and like possesses another body. It's really hot. I'm a fan. It's a porn film like I watched from start to finish. So yeah, hashtag pay for your porn, people. Gotta do it. And if you're gonna do it, one of the sites I'll recommend is crashpadseries.com. Speaking of hashtag pay for your porn, hashtag pay for your independent content creators. As you all know, I have a bustling Patreon community where you can get your very own membership for as little as $1. And membership comes with bonus episodes of the Man Whore podcast, access to our super secret Facebook group, the Champagne Room, and a whole lot more. Tomorrow I'm releasing the first part of a 2-part bonus episode to my $5 and up members. This bonus episode is with Carsie Blanton, who is a musician, but also now a sex game creator. She is the creator of The Effing Truth, which currently has a Kickstarter up right now at theeffingtruth.com. It's a really fun game. It's like a mixture of Never Have I Ever and Cards Against Humanity and Bingo. It's really fun. And so the bonus episode is me, Carsie, and 2 comedian friends of mine playing The Effing Truth. So I want to give you all just a taste of Carsie Blanton. This is a conversation we had separate from the bonus episode. We talk a little bit about her, talk a little bit about the game. Disclaimer, the game was originally titled Bango, but they had a trademark battle with another entity that has a game of sorts that's also called Bango, and so they had to change the name of the game to The Effing Truth. So when we constantly reference Bango, the game is it's the same game, it's just titled The Effing Truth. So let's get to me talking to Carsie Blanton. So you have this game that you've created called Bango.
Bango. Yep.
And what is it? Why are you here? Tell us.
Okay, so in the most basic version, and we'll play it so everyone can understand it better, but Bango is like sexy bingo. So you get your own little personal bingo board, and then there's a deck of cards, and each card has a question on it, like, have you ever given cunnilingus? And if you have done that, then you cross off.
Oh, have I? There's a whole podcast about it.
Yeah, so then if you've done it, you cross off the number, and then if you get 5 in a row, you yell, Bango! You're the winner, just like bingo.
Awesome, yeah.
Yeah. So the whole idea, I thought of the name first because it was like I went to a dinner party at my friend's house in Nashville, and somebody near me who had a really pretty thick Southern accent was like, yeah, and then we played Bango, but she was saying bingo. But she was like, Bango? And I was like, Bango? That sounds so fun. That's got to be like a sexy bingo game.
Yeah.
So that was the origin.
And that was the origin. Were they sexy kind of friends?
Oh,
or were
yeah.
they?
Those friends are some of my sexiest friends. So
Yeah.
so yeah, it was right that that was the place that the idea came forth.
Awesome. And how long has this been in the works?
It's been a little over a year. This is actually the 9th version of the deck.
Okay.
So it started out 75 numbers, 75 question cards, because that's how regular bingo works. And then I had to play with the numbers. And I've never done anything like game development before. So
Right.
this is all a new area for me. But
Well,
it was
because you're not
super fun.
Yeah, that's not your chosen profession.
No.
You're actually a very different world.
Yeah.
Like when you said that, I was like, oh, I wonder, maybe they're a sex educator, maybe they're this,
No.
maybe they're an author. Well, and then I looked at your website. I was like, oh, this is you're a musician.
I'm a musician. And
Yeah.
it's like that is my full-time day job, like my actual day job, and I tour and make records and stuff, and that's how I make money. And so game design is like this hobby that I took on accidentally that now is like consuming my life, at least for the time being.
Yeah. and what is you? I assume you are a fairly active individual then, sexually.
Yeah.
Let me get
Yeah.
doctor on you. Are you currently sexually active?
I am. Thank you for asking. Yeah, I'm actually married, but in an open marriage.
Okay. No ring.
No ring, just because I don't like wearing jewelry on my hands.
Mm-hmm.
Not because I'm trying to like, trick anybody.
How long have y'all been married?
We've been together for 10 years. Married for 4 years.
Wait, how old are you?
I'm 32.
Oh, okay.
How old are you?
28, but it's just like again, I wasn't gonna ask because it didn't matter, but then I started doing math
And you're like,
in my head. I'm just
no.
like, wow, 10 years, okay, that's so much time. Wow, you guys are like right out the gate.
Yeah, we kind of were. I mean, I was precocious in that area.
Mm-hmm.
I moved out pretty young when I was 16, and then I like started dating, moved in with
One
a
of
boyfriend.
those.
One of those.
I've gone on dates with a couple of those types where she's like, yeah, like I left home at 15, and
Yeah.
then just like I was done with college at 20,
Yeah.
just because like fuck my parents, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Wait,
It was a little
who
bit
says
like
yeah,
that.
fuck mom and dad, and then graduates 2 years early?
Yeah. Yeah, I was a little bit like that, but didn't go to college. That was the biggest fuck you to my parents
Yeah?
of all.
But were you doing music?
I was, it was weird. I kind of I left home at 16 because I wanted to leave home. And I grew up in Virginia, left home, moved to the West Coast, lived in Oregon, moved into this house of just exactly what you would imagine in Eugene, Oregon. It was 8 artists living in a 2-bedroom house.
Love it. That's what I want to live in.
I loved it at the time. Now that is literally the worst living situation I can imagine. But at the time I was like, this is so cool. They're artists. We were dumpster diving and biking everywhere and busking for money and stuff. But I didn't plan to be a musician as a career until I was 21, 22. And then I kind of started doing it just to be I don't know, this seems crazy. This is not going to work. And within a year, I was able to quit my job and do music full time. And I haven't been able to beat that as a profession. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
But hey, if Bango makes $1 million on Kickstarter, I still won't retire. I'll probably still do music.
Still be touring, just maybe
Yeah.
a more glamorous bus or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll be my own record label. It'll
That's
be great.
awesome. And so the open marriage, whose idea was that?
That was both of us. It was actually when we got together, we had a one-night stand. And then in the morning, I remember talking to him and I was like, listen, I'm single. I just got out of a long relationship. I'm trying to stay single.
You were 22. How come on? How long of any relationship can you really be?
I moved out at 16. So I had just broken up with a boyfriend that I'd been living with for 3 years. And I was very fuck this.
Sure.
I don't want to do that anymore. That's no fun.
Yeah.
So I was very much enjoying being single as an adult for the first time ever, just like most people when they're 22. And so I was listen, I'm not trying to stop being single. And he was like, that sounds great. And so that was just kind of the initial parameters of the relationship. And then we just kind of never changed it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how do you identify?
I am mostly straight.
Mostly straight.
Yeah, I'm 99% straight, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe 97.
97.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to play this game once we get a couple comedians over.
Yeah.
They're going to join us. We're going to play a little four-way game and see what transpires. And thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
This is going to be fun.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Oh, and also, where can people find you, and where can people find the Kickstarter?
Yeah, so I'm Carsie Blanton, and my music website is carsieblanton.com. My music's also mostly about sex, but it's not a game. It's not as interactive.
So I was playing your music.
Cool.
This is a weird confession. I was playing your music, right? And I'm on the computer, and I'm just doing things, and then I have the music on in the background, and I'm like, oh, this is cool, right? It's good, like I can just enjoy the sound of the music while having to like focus on it. And then all of a sudden, through the wormhole that the internet is, ended up in a masturbation session, but never turned the music off.
Aw,
so
thank you.
Inadvertently ended up coming to your music.
I'm so glad to hear it. That's wonderful news. Yeah, musically, I mean, I was a musician first, so like I didn't go into music to be like, I want people to understand sex positivity. Like I didn't start out as like a sex activist. It was the other way around for me.
Yeah.
I just write about my life, and my life includes sex. So
Similarly, yeah. I mean, like I'm a comp. People go like, "Are you doing this?" If I applied to like a Craigslist gangbang, be like, "Are you just doing this for the show?" I'd be like,
Right.
"I was going to gangbangs long before I started doing the podcast." I'm just doing this for the love of the game.
Exactly. Well, and that's the whole point, as we were saying off the mic earlier. It's like, to me, the interesting thing about sex positivity is every person has sex. Like
Yeah.
Democrat, Republican, you know what I mean? Like
I
it's
love
not-
that list of people. You say, "Who's bango for?" And it's just anyone who bangs, and like anyone. And you have this long
Right.
list.
I'm like post women, attorneys general.
I was like, that's when I started laughing. I
Well,
was like,
that's my whole thing with the music and with the game. It's like it's not, sex is not something that you only get to do if you're sex positive. But like, if everybody was sex positive, that would be good for everyone on the planet.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it shouldn't be like a niche cult thing. It should be something that we can like spread the love to the rest of the world.
you shouldn't have to feel like you have to go do homework to like just talk about sex. And
No.
if we have more people talking openly, honestly about sex, maybe we'll all feel a little less weird about it.
Right.
And who knows, maybe we can teach, where the clitoris is in school.
Exactly. Hello. All right.
All right, let's go play some bango.
Nice.
Go follow Carsie Blanton on the social medias. She's on Twitter and Facebook at Carsie Blanton. That's CarsiebLanton. You'll see links in the show notes. And if you want to get your very own copy of the game, you can go to theeffingtruth.com. That's thefingtruth.com. You can get a printout version of the game for $10, or you can have a full set mailed to you for $25. Super worth it. It's great for like a party, great for a sex party. If you have like poly night with like your polycule, it's great for that. I had a blast. And if you want to hear the bonus episode where me and a couple comedians and Carsie all play The Effing Truth together, head on over to patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. This will be available to all of my $5 and up members. And not only do you get access to that bonus episode and dozens more, you're also helping support me and the Man Whore podcast and the work that I'm doing. So you're doing like, it's kind of like paying for your porn, but like #pay for your podcast a little. All right. And now for this week's guests, plural. One of those multi-guest episodes I occasionally have. Cam and KarenLee Potter, they run a great show called Sex Talk with My Mom. I have appeared on it a couple weeks ago. Go check it out. But yeah, so Cam is like this, I don't want to necessarily say shy, but we'll call sexually reserved, right? And then his mother, Karen, is this like this hot MILF who's very open talking about sex stuff. Makes for a fantastic combination on a podcast. So I met with Cam at the ACAST studios here in New York City, where we recorded both his show and my show for this episode, where we recorded both my episode of his show and their episode of my show. His mother was Skyped in, so she was not actually in the room, so I've yet to meet her in person. But we had a fucking blast. It was so much fun. So if you love this episode, you got to go check out my episode of their show, because it's like just as much fun. And there's even more topics of conversation that come up. And I'm not even going to try to describe all the different things we get into. So just enjoy yourselves. Enjoy the show. Let's go have some sex talk with his mom. I mean, yeah, no, I normally just chit-chat away and I sneak in with one of those P. Holmesy, are we recording right now? What? Yo, Wiley, you. But Cam and Karen, hello. It's nice to finally meet you two.
It's very fun to be here.
Damn glad to meet you too, you little man whore.
Thank you. You two host a great show called Sex Talk with My Mom.
That's correct.
Which is a show about microbiology, I hear.
Yes, it is.
We discuss exclusively the microbiome. My mother is an expert in that area.
That would have been fun if I happened to accidentally pick the thing she's an expert in. No, but yeah, you have to do this. You've been doing a show, what is it, like 3 years now? 2.5?
2 years. 2 years, almost at 100 episodes.
Fucking great job. Congrats, you two.
Thank you.
You've been talking to your mom about sex a lot.
We talk about too much sex.
And you two still haven't fucked.
Okay.
Just
No, we have not, Billy.
No,
and we will never.
And you know what? We get asked that, and it's so
disgusting
bizarre
question.
to me. Ew,
It's not funny. He asked me that within like minutes of meeting me.
Oh,
by the way.
Okay. Well,
What-
might as well get
what-
that off the table. Have you fucked your mother? What kind of question?
No. But I also don't do a podcast with her about sex for 2 years. To be in my defense.
Meaning there might be a lot of pent-up sexual...
There could be. Who knows? Maybe that's a thing I got to explore in therapy.
I think
don't
so.
know. No.
Has your mom been on your podcast?
No, but I thought about something like that as an idea for a while, like whether it be her. It was more like having one of my sisters on, because my sisters were sexually active far before I was, both like age-wise and in real time, you know, because I'm the oldest and they're younger. I got two little sisters. One's like 17 months younger. The other one's like 5 years younger. They both started way before me. They're both gorgeous people, and I took a while. And I was a slow cook.
Okay, but you have not had sex with your sisters.
No, neither of them. I've had
You're
sex.
going to go through every member of his family right now?
I've had sex with no family members yet. Okay, so
Just
zero.
wanted to get that cleared up. Okay, we can move on.
No, you could have this great show. We just recorded an episode of your show.
It was very
I had
fun.
A fucking blast.
Thank you.
So much fun.
Yeah.
And so I got to start with what causes you two to start doing a podcast about that with that title?
Well, my mother has had a YouTube
And also,
channel for a while.
Have you always called her mother? I should tell people he's a 28-year-old male. Granted, he's wearing shorts, but like he is an adult male.
Is it not?
He says,
What, you can't be a male and wear shorts at the same time?
You can, but then you also call her mother, and then I just start thinking of Bates Motel, and I'm like,
You're the first person to
that's
mention.
I mean, because I don't even understand what other term would you like him to call me, Mama?
I
mean,
just
what-
feel like
what-
every serial killer in movies who like
Said
kills people with
mother.
his mother always calls her mother, like, right?
I haven't seen enough of those to really know. But for this episode, I can call her mommy if you'd like.
I would like it if you'd call me Mommy permanently.
What caused y'all to do this?
So she's had a YouTube channel for 5 years?
Since 2012, yeah.
5 years, called the KarenLee Potter Show.
Mm-hmm.
She talks. At first, she was just talking about. Mom, you want to explain what the fucking channel is?
I started.
Hey, that's your mother you're talking to.
Yeah, can you call me Mommy, please? Okay. I started because I was suddenly single. Do we want to get into this whole thing or no?
Yeah.
Get into the whole fucking thing.
Karen, I am extremely interested in your personal relationship history.
Okay,
It's about to get dark real fast.
It's going to go into a tragedy that turns into comedy.
Okay,
So,
Yeah, right.
so
we're going to
the
start
husband died.
Okay, so we live.
I'm assuming.
I lived in the white picket fence house with the husband, the traditional. I got married at 23. Was married for 24 years. Cam has two siblings, one older sister, one younger brother. Everything was great. Traditional stay-at-home mom. They started working, when the kids went off to school and video editing. Blah 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 blah. Yada yada yada. Monday, my husband, I get a call. He went to work and he was murdered.
Wait,
Okay.
what?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
Wait,
where the tragedy
whoa,
comes in.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, I am not I'm not a mature adult male to handle information like that.
Hence why he calls me mother. No, I'm just kidding.
Most people
That
don't know how to
explains the
respond.
mother part,
Yeah,
yeah.
most people do not know how to respond
Well,
when we
could-
drop this information on
Right,
them.
but when you say like cancer or something like that, people go like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," but and not
Right,
that you shouldn't
right.
be sorry when someone gets murdered, but it's not the one you hear every day.
No,
No,
it's a bizarre
no,
thing. It's
that's why I
awkward. It's
say-
an awkward thing.
It's very awkward. That's why I kind of like throw it in there to keep just people on their toes, make sure they're listening. Otherwise, I don't know if they're even listening.
But
anyway,
it's a truth story.
it is
So
a
someone
hor-
like if they're not listening, then you start going like, and
let's
they'd be like,
throw
"Oh,
in the
what kind of murder was it?" They just so they jump in and they go like, "Oh, well, what kind of cancer was it?" And you go knife.
knife cancer. Exactly. Well, that's exactly what happened. So
It
anyway,
wasn't what happened. Yeah.
he was murdered by an employee, and I was I don't know, in my 40s then. And, 3 kids, young kids, blah, blah, blah. So I thought, well, when I was ready to go on the dating scene again, I was like, okay, I'll go research stuff online, what to do, who I can relate to. And it's either like 22-year-old girls talking about dating or some, these pickup artist guys telling you about dating, and nothing I could relate to. Certainly
And
not.
you'd been in 2012-ish. You had been with him like maybe 23, 25,
24
30
years. 24 years, yeah.
So so the dating scene, which Jesus, 2012. I think that's when 89.
No, it's 2006 when he was murdered.
Okay. So that
So it
very
was
different
it was-
dating scene you jumped into.
Yes, it was very. I mean, I didn't have cell phones when I originally was in the dating scene. Well, of course, I was
Right.
also 20 years old. Anyway, a long story short, I thought I need to find something. I need to find something that's going to, and I couldn't. So I figured, well, if you know what, if you can't beat them, join them. I'll be the one. I'll tell about my personal stories. I have a master's in social work. I'll try to help people that, are starting dating relationships, that kind of stuff. It turned into horny guys wanting to know about penis size.
So when she started the channel, I was so excited for her. It's so empowering. You're gonna give out advice on how to date to other women who found themselves in this situation.
Yeah.
And then like a year later, she's only exclusively talking about blowjobs, penis size, how to eat pussy, all these sorts of things.
And of course, cougars, which is the term I reinvented to a confident, older, unique,
seriously.
genuine, assertive, and racy woman. Yes, I wrote a
Well,
book called A
and how
Cougar's
was that
Guide
for
to
you?
Get.
What was the book's title?
The book is called A Cougar's Guide to Getting Your Ass Back Out There.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very inspirational. What was that like for you? Like, so she pitches you like, "Oh, it's dating and stuff." You're like, "Great, good for you." And then it starts being like, "And here's what you do on the underside of the penis head." And you're like, "Mom."
Yeah.
Had you always been that close about sex stuff, or was this like a new?
This was a new thing. I mean,
Okay.
we were pretty open, but this was outrageous. When have you ever heard your mother talking like this?
My mom makes a lot of innuendos, but never so explicit.
Extremely explicit.
I always was pretty much open about sex, though. I have to be honest. I was always my entire life open about sex. It just, I think it kind of runs in that one side of my family.
My friends would come to her for sex advice.
Yeah.
Like growing up,
Oh, yeah.
like in high school and such.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of vibe were you giving off that they knew to come to you?
I don't,
Because it's a specific mom. Because every town's got that mom.
She's the cool
Yeah.
mom.
Yeah, the cool mom. That's the one you go to be like, "Hey, I need to buy
Yeah.
condoms." Like you're the mom
Right.
that you went to.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I've done
Okay.
that. I've gotten rats for boys. I've done all
But you
kinds of
got,
things.
but it's not like you had been like had this like I don't want to minimalize by not saying full, but you hadn't had a long dating and sex history before you were married, right? So
that is true. That is true.
But were you open about sex and stuff in high school and college?
Like I said, I was very open about sex. In college, I had a wonderful sexual experience.
Oh my God.
you had one singular wonderful sexual. You're like, this is
It's
good.
a
I
night
quit.
that I will fucking remember forever because she talks about it so
I
regularly.
talk
Yeah.
about it a lot, but the point is that I lost my virginity in a positive way. Okay, it was a
Okay.
very enjoyable way, and I recently thanked the guy that I lost my virginity to on the phone. I called him up. I was drunk, and I'm like, I just want to thank you because I really had a great experience, and it could have gone the completely opposite way, and I wouldn't be the person I am today. So,
30 years later, be
consequently-
like, hey, thanks for the good dickin'.
it basically was, yeah. He did well by me. So
What
anyway,
what can someone listening do if they're with a virgin? What's a good, if you're a penis wielding person with a vagina haver, what would you do? What are some good tips
And I could
for
tell
being
you
a good
what
deflowerer?
was not great for my.
Yeah.
okay, let's start. Okay, so the most important thing, obviously, is know the woman's body. You know, and not through porn. Don't learn anything from porn. But my main thing is, you know, just communicate. You know, be a real good communicator. Be a good observer, and you know, be confident about everything. Just and try new stuff. Be experimental. There's so many different things I could tell you. But his main thing, the reason he was so good, is because he had this aura of like bedroom eyes, kind of knew what to do, pursued me. He made me feel very sexy. So there's a lot of ways that a guy can, even in college, like become like this, like, you know, Casanova type of guy, you know? So he it wasn't just me. He was able to get a lot of girls that way, so.
And you've just heard this story so many times. So what was the talk for you?
I think I should call him the man whore.
Sure. I haven't been on this. I haven't been sexually active for about maybe 10 years. I don't know that I really deserve the title, but if people want to give it to me. So you've always been open about sex and whatnot. So what was the talk like for Cam and your other children?
Well, I think it's just kind of it was always openly discussed. There was never like a this is what it is, right? I mean, as far as I could remember.
Well, your dad, interestingly enough, like one time, like I guess we were watching porn, and my daughter comes in. She goes, "I want to see my dance recital DVD," and she puts it in. And we had the time of half the DVD and half VCR player, and the porn comes on, you know. And I'm like, "Oh, that's your dad," you know. But meanwhile, like he was like the one who would be like, he blamed, you know, everything on me. So it was like. He really didn't like to talk about sex with the kids, and I would just be the one like, oh, let me talk about it with you guys. Let's be honest. Let's be open about it.
Cam, what's your earliest memory of a sex talk with your mom?
I remember I do remember getting my first boner and asking her. I was looking at like People magazine or something like that.
And how old are you?
No, you were watching a soap
young.
opera. You were watching a soap opera.
Oh, there's so much cleavage in soap operas.
I remember fucking.
He was watching All My Children.
Okay, this might have been two different experiences where
Sure.
I talk about my boners with you, because I remember when I was looking at a People magazine and getting very aroused by these pictures of women, and then I asked her, why does my penis get big when I look at these things?
No, you said, Mom, it hurts. It hurts.
So there must have been a different time. Because what I remember was not this situation. But you couldn't have your own memory of my first boner. It's fine.
He's like, thanks for making my boner all about you.
So
it was just a constant thing in the house. So, and to...
Also, I will say, having such an open mother, and it's not just about sex, it's about drugs and about alcohol. Actually, with drugs, you didn't condone them as well. But with alcohol, she's like, my dad was like, here, take a sip of Johnny Walker. You know, so we
were very like, let the kids have their own consequences for all the things along the way. And I never would put these restrictions on the way a lot of the other parents did. I was a very lax. I'm not lax. That's not a good term. I was a very much.
If they're going to be drinking, let's do it in our house where we can kind of control it or monitor it in a way.
No. I would encourage them to drink.
But it was like, if they're going to drink,
encourage
let's have the
them
party
to try
at our
it.
house.
Yeah.
So where it's safe and they're not going to like, you know, whatever.
Well, so what resulted was that I had no desire to ever drink or have sex, or like I had nothing to rebel against. My rebellion was not doing these things that she was pushing me to fucking do.
Sure.
So I didn't have sex or start drinking until college. I mean, I was kind of a late bloomer in this sense. Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, when she starts this YouTube channel talking about sex, I start talking about it in my stand-up.
Because you were also a stand-up comedian.
Right.
And also apparently a clown.
Yes.
Which I did not know.
Yes,
until today.
Well, he recently graduated.
Thank you. I was in clown school.
Okay.
Yeah, and not the clown like Bozo the Clown, but you know the traditional.
I know,
like,
clowning.
Yes,
He
that whole
did.
thing.
By the way, he did have a miming episode on Silicon Valley. You might want to check out.
Ooh.
Yeah, check it out.
He was
You
on
can
the
say you're like a
refrigerator.
huge celebrity. Yes.
Yeah.
I was miming a blowjob actually.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, so I started talking about my stand-up. It was the most well-received jokes that I had. So I just started doing a ton of material based on my mom. And then finally, people would start coming up to me after the show being like, is this real? Is this true? Your mother is this like self-proclaimed sex expert and cougar?
Well, you were reading the
don't know.
book. You took my book and read passages out of it.
I was reading the book. I was trying to sell the book. And then, so then I was like, I don't know how to make this more realistic to you aside from actually collaborating with her and making this podcast. So that's where this came from.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so then we made this comedic podcast that we talk about sex.
Yeah. And so what's your, so let's contrast a little bit. You're single and you're out there, correct?
No.
No.
Oh,
Ooh.
no. That's
What's
what I was
your
going to tell you,
situation?
that my boyfriend is several years younger than me. Hence
How many years younger?
Is it 15? 15 years younger.
Good for you.
See, everybody goes good for you. They never say it if it's a guy and he's dating someone 15 years younger. You wouldn't say good for you, but it's like a stigma.
It depends.
Right?
It depends on the
it's-
guy. I'll put it this way. The guys who are dating 15 years younger are typically a lot creepier. It's not because they're
Douchier.
dating 15 years younger. The 15 years younger dating is a byproduct of their general creepiness.
I think that's right.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
that's
yeah.
accurate.
Isn't it? I agree, but it's just so funny the way the reaction I usually get is good for you.
Yeah, good for you to get some stamina.
I got to the point when I was single, I was like, can't I find one guy over the age of 30? I was so excited to find him because he was over 30. It was mostly these younger guys that were out there looking for older women. It's like an epidemic. It's crazy what's that going on out there. But anyway, so after I, went on my dating scene for a while, met my boyfriend about a year and a half after my husband passed away, and he was in New York. I was in Chicago. We had a long distance relationship for a while. He moved to Chicago.
This is the same boyfriend.
Yeah.
You've been
We've
with him
been
like 5 years?
Yeah.
9.5 years.
9.5. That's amazing.
And I was going to tell you that he was the one who taught Cam how to mime a blowjob.
Is he also a mime?
No.
No.
He made a very
He's
inappropriate
just giving a
joke
lot
once.
of blowjobs. That's
Yeah. So, well, she did not. It's not 9.5 years of being long distance.
No, but just 9.5 years together.
Yeah.
That's like fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, and then, but to contrast that, what's your dating situation?
I came to New York. I'm in the
You're
for
just-
the sole
yeah, you're just here for the
purpose-
summer, though,
Just
right?
for the summer, maybe longer. Who knows?
yeah.
Just to explore what it's. I'm not a big casual hookup guy. I hear New York is a very casual scene, so I said,
Yeah.
well, I'm going to try to explore my sex life.
Sure.
Experiment, because I've kind of been more relationship oriented. So we'll see what happens.
To do a callback to our episode on a whole different show, have you considered Craigslist bukkake? We talked a lot about We talked a lot about my bukkakis when I did their show 20 minutes ago.
It was very interesting. And I have never thought of doing that. I've never even thought about going Craigslist. But after
But
that,
like
now
we have
I
a very
might.
healthy Tinder, Bumble scene, for example,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
there's even if you do want to try explicit hookups, there's this thing called the Pure Hookup app, which
you're
is a
sponsored, yeah.
sponsored on the show.
This is
but
great.
I also
Wait, I'd
if
like
you
to know
sponsor me, I
what
would
is the
still-
Pure
I would
Hookup?
still
What is
push
that?
it.
What is the Pure
It's
Hookup
just the
app?
idea. It's what I like about Pure Hookup app. As they've rebranded, I feel like I'm supposed to say the entire title every time. What I like about them is that with like other, let's say, swiping apps, there's an ambiguity a lot of the times of why they're there. Like, are they there to hook up? Do they want a serious relationship? Do they want to casually date? Do they just want friends? Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, typically, it depends. It's different for different people and different connections. They were like, well, I would be interested in seriously dating certain people and interested in hooking up with other people, and that's a very healthy outlook. However, it's very ineffective if, say, you definitely want to go hook up, because if you
I understand what you're saying.
yeah,
I get it.
because
All right, so
if you hit on
basically,
someone, well, if
call
you
a
hit on
spade a
someone to
spade.
hook up with them, if you hit on someone to hook up with them, and you would date them, and they don't want to hook up, there's no like coming back from. You can't be like, oh, you don't want to fuck. I mean, dude, I'll totally date. Like, no, they cut you off, right? So with Pure, everyone is there specifically to hook up, and to hook up that night, you have when you get a match, you get a 1 hour chat window. And the chat window disappears after an hour. So
my God.
you got 1 hour to make plans.
Holy shit.
Get to it. Yeah.
And
it shows,
you've used this.
yeah, I haven't hooked up from it yet, but I've had matches. Still figuring out how to talk to it. It's so weird switching from like apps where you have to sort of allude to sexual stuff before getting explicit, switching to an app where it's like, if I say like, oh, hey, what's going on? They're like, no, shut the fuck up. Are you going to come fuck me or what? Like,
Wow.
I was supposed to get, I was this close to getting laid with a flight attendant who was staying in Weehawken, New Jersey. It was 1:30 in the morning.
Oh my God.
And we match and we talk briefly, and she's like into it. She gives me the name of the hotel. That's how close I am. She's like, here's the hotel. And I don't have a car.
Oh,
And I look up on public transport. It was like it would take an hour and a half, 2 hours, just because of not because it's far, but because it was like 1:30 in the morning on a
Right.
weeknight.
Oh, my
trains
God.
aren't going at the time limit, so I'd maybe
What
get
about
there like
Uber?
That's an expensive
paying
Uber.
for that?
That's an expensive Uber. So it was just
Okay,
like,
so that's what that's so that is basically there's no question about what the agenda is.
Right,
Okay?
right. And I was just like, oh, I wish I had a fucking car because I was like, hey, how about tomorrow? She's like, no, I fly out tomorrow. And I was like, maybe I could have your number. I could be like your New York fly. I'm grasping at some straws here. I'll be your flyover boy. She's like, nope, sorry, bye-bye. I'm like, no! That was the closest I ever got on
I
the
just
pier.
don't
The
even
train
get
leaving the
that. I
station.
mean, without even knowing, what if you get there and you're like, ooh, she's got bad breath.
Yeah.
I don't want to do
Well,
this.
I mean, the requests are you put up a picture. And you put up one picture. And
just
that's
one
where
picture.
Yeah, but in the chat box, you can also exchange more pictures. Also, what's the worst that happens? I show up and one of us isn't into it. Then I'll just go home. Like, that's not the worst thing to happen in the world.
Yeah, I mean, it would lead to an uncomfortable conversation.
yeah.
Yeah, but life is full of difficult conversations.
Yeah,
If you
maybe-
can't handle difficult conversations, you don't deserve to be an adult in the world.
Or maybe you could specify that in the chat earlier, saying, you know what, just
I
in
think
case
that's always
there's going to be a
implied, though.
15-minute consult. We'll see after 15 minutes.
I could never handle this. I would get there and I see that he's missing a tooth on the side of his mouth, and I'd be like, "See ya." This would not be good.
Yeah, that's possible. And then
Because
that's
so
all
much
that would
to
happen.
me, but so much to me is the pheromones and
Uh-huh.
just the chemistry of like just the eye contact. It could be like the picture might be gorgeous, but I get there and I'm like, ew.
Yeah,
I mean, that
but I would
probably
maybe meet
happen
it.
more
you
than
know?
not.
But you can also meet up for a drink. Be like, okay, let's meet at this bar in like 45 minutes, and
I think
suss each other out.
I feel like if I know someone wants to fuck me, and I'm like very close to
It's
that happening.
so adorable watching him say the word "fuck." Do you get that at all ever?
Wait, who's adorable, me or Cam?
Him. Cam.
When Cam says
you
the word
think it's
fuck,
adorable when I say "fuck, mother"?
no, I kind of like it. It's funny. It makes me laugh.
It's no secret that I am a huge fan of the Motor Bunny, which is a ride-on-top vibrator. The Motor Bunny has a new product called the Motor Bunny Link Controller. Of course, the hero product is still the Motor Bunny itself, but we're excited about this new accessory because it can take the Motor Bunny experience to a whole new level. You can now control your Motor Bunny, program, and conduct sequences from your phone or tablet. Their modular design lets you plug and play. If you own a compatible Motor Bunny, just plug it in and download the app and hop on. Along with the free app, the Motor Bunny Link controller enables in-room Bluetooth control within 15 feet. Teledildonics are all the rage in the sex toy industry these days, and I'm really excited to see Motor Bunny catch on to the craze. And now listeners of the Man Whore podcast can enjoy a special deal, $50 off your Motor Bunny when you go to motorbunny.com and use the promo code MANWHORE at checkout. And not only will you be adding an amazing addition to your sex toy collection, but you'll also be supporting the Man Whore podcast while you do it. Again, go to motorbunny.com, use the promo code MANWHORE at checkout. Support for the Man Whore podcast comes from mybookie.ag. Football season is well underway, and if you're watching the games, it's time to start making money. MyBookie is the industry-leading website that hooks you up for all your betting needs. And with their great odds, fast payouts, and decades of expertise, you can bet with confidence. And there are a lot of sports betting websites out there, but where you bet is just as important as who you're betting on. Like, right now, I'm on a site that I need to get off of, but unfortunately, their payout time window and withdrawal procedure is ridiculous and complicated. I have to go open a new bank account at a specific bank, and then it's still going to take an unfair amount of time for me to get my own money back. So once I get my money back, I'm going to be going on over to mybookie.ag for all my sports betting needs. They also have a really great online casino if you're into that type of thing. MyBookie is offering Man Whore podcast listeners in a fantastic deal. You get a 100% deposit bonus when you use the code MANWHORE on your first deposit. Yeah, so on day one, you're already going to be winning. That's amazing. Head on over to manwhorepod.com/winner to get started today. MyBookie. You play, you win, you get paid. Now let's get back to the show.
Because like in doing this show for like 2 years, do you still see him as like your where do you fall? You're in the middle child. Mm-hmm. But do you still see him as like your baby, so to speak? Like
no, he has changed from like this deer in the headlights kind of guy that just was like scared to like talk to girls to like now he's like, oh, I had a one night stand. I'm like, you fucking did, you rock. I mean, he would literally feel this pressure from me, like. I mean, like, one of his friends tells me he could have lost his virginity, not Cam, but his friend said, I could have lost my virginity in a sorority house. I had 2 girls that wanted to do it. And I'm like, and you fucking didn't do it? He goes, no, I decided against it. I didn't feel comfortable. I was ready to kill the kid. I don't know. I just feel like never pass out certain opportunities.
But it has been a process for us as well. Trying to, this podcast, it's a bit dangerous because there's such a closeness there that it creates a little bit of a dependence.
Well, dependence?
A dependence.
So
this
explain.
is something we've had to become conscious of to make sure that there is some independence there. That not it. Are you
talking about like oversharing, like being able to?
To know the line between oversharing, being. To live my own life and individuate it in a way from my mother.
Right,
This has been something that's come up a lot over the past year.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do, we can get into it.
It's another whole conversation. But basically, I've seen him evolve from like very
from when
like
you started
naive,
the show.
Very, he's gotten definitely. I mean, like
because I listened to the first few episodes back when you guys launched, so I remember hearing you at least as that's what you're describing.
Although right now, when you take me in, we've never met before tonight. So do you take me in as someone who's sexually experienced, as someone who's kind of what is your perception?
Well, you say mother a lot.
Yeah, I do say mother.
Aside from his saying mother a lot, and what do you compare to yourself, for example? I mean, I feel like you are like, first of all, I thought you were like in your 40s when I heard your voice, okay? I had no idea you were in your
When she heard your voice, she didn't even see you.
I didn't see you.
Then she saw me and she's like, oh, he looks like 35. Good for him. Oh,
no, I actually can't. You got this
glasses.
huge, gigantic microphone in front of your face. I can't even see you. So, no, what I'm saying is that when I heard your voice, because of the maturity in it and the way you handled yourself with so much, I was listening to quite a few of your podcasts. I was like surprised that you're only in your 20s.
Thank you.
I had the same feeling.
Thank you.
You slept with how many people? Upwards of
70, 80, something like
70
that.
or 80 people. That's a lot for that age for a few years.
I think I'm still under 10.
That's fine. It's not a competition. It ain't a race. Hey, not all of them were quality. I was bad for a lot of that.
But
I was really bad for like a lot of those.
It's more like every time I have sex, it's like such a new experience. Like afterwards, I'm like, oh my God, did I make her pregnant? Did I use the condom right? Do I need to respond in this particular way? It's such a fucking mindfuck.
He's like more of an anxious person than you.
I don't know. Do you still experience that, or is that
no? My anxiety is just all about like how I haven't eaten carbs for 16 hours, and it's like, too far for me. Like all I want to do right now is eat pizza, but I'm trying to look good for an orgy in 2 weeks.
I really wish I had done an orgy. I never did an orgy.
You still can. Go bring that boyfriend to an orgy.
I know. I mean,
where are you? You're in like, I know the accent's Midwestern, but where are you?
In Chicago.
You're Chicago. Yeah, you got sex parties in Chicago.
How do you find
it's
sex
not
party?
about that. I have to
Kinky Salon, I think, has a Chicago chapter.
You don't understand something. I still am from the generation of monogamy, okay? And although my boyfriend, albeit he's younger than me and much more sexually experienced than me, from what I understood, it's still like you have to change the whole dynamic of your relationship.
Yeah.
He wants to know how old you are.
Oh, 58.
You're 58?
Yes.
8?
How old did you think I was?
I mean, I didn't stop to do math. You look like you're in your mid-40s to 50.
Oh, I love this
tops.
guy.
Oh, my God.
I'm a big fan of man whore.
Are you kidding me? Oh, come on. I've been crushing on your mom for years.
For two years, the first fucking interaction is hitting on you.
No,
Thank you.
you can go
that.
to a... you can,
No, you but listen, one of my best friends, literally, I have one best friend in L.A., and you know who it is? Nina Hartley.
Nina's been on the show. Nina kissed me at the end of the show, and it's like a highlight of my life.
Well,
She sucked on my ear. It got very uncomfortable in
she
front of my
offered-
mother.
Yes, she offered to mentor him.
Oh my God,
Sexually.
Nina offered,
Yeah.
she does that. So she'll just be like, I'd like to share a sexual space with you. Like maybe next time you're in LA.
Did she do this to you?
Well, we didn't do anything yet. We were like, oh, next time I'm in LA, like I could contact her to be like, would you want to do something?
Cam?
She's like, and
Cam?
she said she was like, I don't know what it is. Like I don't know. She's like, I don't know if it involves my vagina, but she's like, it would be something with your penis. She's like, I don't know what. I don't know if it's intercourse or a blowjob or I don't know, but like something
fortune
with
teller or
your
something
penis
like this.
is gonna happen with me at some point. I'm
Oh
like,
my God.
but like at the end of the episode, she like moved closer. She's like, okay, oh now, and she like made out with me on mic.
Oh my God.
And it's like I said, highlight of my life. Please tell her hello for me. And
I will.
still...
We get mani pedis together.
Wait, how the fuck are you friends with Nina Hartley?
I'm pretty good friends with her. Actually,
Right.
she's like my only friend in LA, except for a couple, other people that I don't think you know. I'm friends with quite a few porn stars because I interview them for my show. And Nina and I have done several interviews, and then Cam and I have had an interview or two with her, and she offered to mentor Cam sexually.
So it's a fairly recent. It's like a somewhat recent-ish friendship in that, like, it's been since you started the YouTube show.
My YouTube show is 5 years ago, so I've been friends with her
5
for
years.
a while.
Oh, I just meant like when you. I didn't.
She's not like a college friend, but we are.
For a split second, I thought this was
Yeah.
like a decades-long friendship. I was like, oh my God, like do tell, like tell
No,
me
no.
about
No.
young Nina.
my mother just moved to LA. That's why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Oh, that's
I didn't
awesome.
finish the conversation where I met my boyfriend in New York, dragged him to Chicago. Then I decided it's time to move to California, and he moved to California with me. And now, we're all over the place. Meanwhile, I don't have any friends in California except for Nina Hartley.
So what are you gonna do with Nina Hartley? Did you wait? So what happened so far with Nina Hartley?
So far, we had the interview. She offered to fuck me and mentor me.
Whatever that may mean.
Whatever that means.
Yeah,
So-
because
so-
for her, she's so open-minded to like it doesn't have to just be penis and vagina. There's all these other awesome things
Right.
that she says in that insanely adorable lisp of hers. And
Exactly. Yes. So I started talking about this in my stand-up, telling the whole story, opening it up to the audience. What would they do if they were found me in this situation? Also, the thing to note is that my mother looks very similar to Nina Hartley.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
she
one of the
does.
reasons that
Yes, she does.
that attracted my boyfriend to me.
So that's a fucking weird thing.
That's a weird thing, right?
That is not a big turn on for me. This is something that makes me repelled. Anyway, I'm bringing this up with
So
the
are you
audience.
just not attracted to any hot blonde? Is that like a thing you
They're
can't
the
be
same
anymore?
age. They're very similar in attitude. It's just like, wait,
Okay.
there's
Yeah.
an overlap there.
I've been literally before I even met Nina, 2 or 3 times I was asked if they could have my autograph. They thought I was her. I mean,
That's amazing.
And not even like at porn conventions. I'm talking about like when I was out just at dinner.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I would bring this up
So
in my
so
stand-up
what?
set.
So did okay.
People eventually they were like, "You need to do this. You have no option. You have to do this." So I
There was a
texted
lot
her.
of pressure.
It was a lot of peer pressure that I brought onto myself. I texted her, "Hey Nina, I've been thinking a lot about you. I would love to take you up on your offer to mentor me." She responds, "Great, let's have lunch or coffee." This
This is how long ago?
This is maybe a year ago.
Okay.
So then I go. I kind of was looking for the more hands-on training as opposed to lunch or coffee. What the fuck? What are we going to discuss?
By the way, you can
Sex?
find-
Different lunch
Well,
or
I don't know if you know this, but sometimes you have to like go have a conversation with a woman before she fucks you.
So
that's
did-
the thing. Sometimes they make you do it. Sometimes she wants coffee and I gotta buy her dinner and a movie, and then maybe she touches my pee-pee.
So I didn't know. I was bamboozled by the whole situation. The whole thing was just a mind fuck. So I basically said I want the hands-on training. She says absolutely after a lunch or coffee first.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Oh,
so anyway,
acting like a young gun, just jumping straight to the sex.
I was out of my mind. Okay.
What the hell is he
the
thinking?
anxiety was at an
Yeah.
all-time high. So we were in the process of setting it up, and then she just ghosts me. I don't hear anything back. I got nothing.
But she's kind of like that though. She's like
She's
kind
a
of like
busy
hot.
lady.
She's a busy lady. So
she's
so it
very
fell through
busy.
the cracks.
yeah.
So then I came down from it. I'm like, okay, it's fine. It wasn't supposed to happen. I don't want it to happen. We're over it. Let's get over the anxiety. It was just a very anxiety-provoking situation. But then my mom comes into town, and she becomes friends with her again, and then it reopens the whole can of worms.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
sit
still
down with her to
kinda
get a
on the table.
pedicure, and she says to me, I'm still, ready to mentor your son. And you know what I said to her? I said, I'd rather have you mentor my boyfriend.
Would you let Nina fuck around with your boyfriend just
Yes.
to teach him some things?
Yes.
Would you
And I
fuck
told
him
him
with
that.
Nina?
I don't know what I would do if I was there. I can't say never or what I would do. And the thing is,
But that's like
she
the
is-
one break from monogamy so far you seem up for.
Oh yeah, I don't even think that's a break. That's an educational tool. That's not like that to me is not. That's not another woman. That's just like that's Nina
a
Hartley.
goddess.
Sure. Yeah.
It's
Okay.
it's a sex education. It's sex educator. She knows
That
more
is
about sex, I
amazing.
think, than anybody, any sexologist. So
Oh man, that is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm still hoping I will check in with her once in a blue moon just to keep my name possibly still out, just so that when I do come out to LA, that could hopefully still be on the table because
it would definitely be.
Time for the fan whore appreciation moment. What's up? This is the part of the podcast where I like to thank several members of my fan whore community on Patreon. Want to give a shout out to Julia F. I hope you're doing well in school. Hope things are good out there. Shout out to Brian F., a.k.a. DJ Fizzy Pop. What a delicious name, man. Thank you so much for your longtime support. This one is thank you to Peter/Owen. Which is it? Hey, man, you decide. Guy's got a couple names he likes to use, but I had a blast meeting you and your wife at McSorley's when you're here in New York City. So I thank you again for being a member. And also thank you to Rebecca F., who is just a new hottie that is in the champagne room with us. And I very much look forward to your future Titty Tuesday posts. Thus far, they've been great. So thank you for those posts and for your support. And you too can support the Man Whore Podcast on Patreon for as little as $1 per month. And it's not one of those things where I say $1 per month, but they bill you a big lump sum all at once. No, you make your pledge whenever you want to, and you alter or delete your pledge whenever you want to. Membership includes bonus episodes of the Man Whore Podcast, inclusion in our super secret Facebook group, The Champagne Room, shout outs on the show, and a whole lot more. Become a member today by visiting patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. That's Patreon, patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. But now let's get back to me and Cam and Karen.
Well, she did offer me one thing before I got out there to do the episode with her. It was like, hey, would you want to do a video? Like, you could be off screen. It would be just a hand job scene, point of view, so you're not on camera, whatever, and I can use it for my site. And I was like, and I passed only. This is before we did the episode, and she was like saying like, "Oh, you're so cute," whatever. I said no because I've always took the stance that I think it's funnier to have done one porno and retire than to like do like a couple here and there.
And you've already done
And I've already done the one
Wait,
porno.
I don't know about that. You did a porno?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed out on that. It must
Yeah,
have
I
been
did.
while the Skype went dead or something.
No, we never talked. We haven't talked about it. I know this from researching.
Sure.
Yeah.
But the short story of it is like almost 3 years ago, I did a porno with Sarah J and Siri called Team BJ.
Wait, who?
'Cause-
Sarah J?
Sarah J?
That's another friend of mine.
Oh, Sarah J's a sweetheart. Sarah J seems to be friends with everybody. I love it.
Sarah J, I'm going to actually see this January, February. I'm going to see a whole porn shoot. I've never seen that.
Oh, awesome.
I didn't know
yeah.
that.
You didn't know that? Yeah.
No, I did not know you're going to porn shoot.
Do you want to come with?
Oh my God.
Porn shoot with my mom. Porn shoot with my mom.
I know
Special
that could cross
podcast.
a
Bonus
boundary.
content. Bonus
I don't
content.
know. I don't even know if that's that. I don't know. I may bring
I'm
my
sure you. I'm
boyfriend.
sure you could pull some strings and get him on.
It's weird. It's weird to be aroused.
Yeah.
With your mother next to you.
It is. It's a little weird. It's a little.
Have you
weird.
ever gotten aroused during recording the podcast?
Well,
Come on.
when Nina is sucking on my earlobe, there was a very, and I literally said, "This is too uncomfortable for me," because my mother's sitting across from me, and
I'm
then my
getting
mom
physical
goes,
flashbacks of that.
"My mom goes, I can close my eyes."
No, I
And I
said
was
I
like,
could
no.
leave the room.
it was unnecessary.
Uh-huh.
The whole situation was overwhelming.
Have you ever caught him jerking off as a kid?
You know, it's funny. That's what we usually ask our guests. And I don't think I ever have. Have I?
I don't think so. I'm not a big
You're not
a
big-
big porn guy. Not
Fucking porn, but you don't just whack one off?
very. If I do it, it's very once. It's not that often. I'm not. Yeah, it's not too often. She wouldn't have caught me.
Huh.
Yeah.
Have you ever walked in on your parents? I wanted to ask you that before. That's what we typically do ask our guests. Have you walked in your parents, or they walked in on you?
Not on my parents, but like I've been caught jerking off plenty. Come on, remember?
Do you
I
continue
didn't have
doing it?
female- Huh?
Will
Do I continue jerking
Yeah.
off?
Yeah, if your parents walk in or somebody walks in, do you continue to jack off, or do you just stop?
Oh, no, you stop, you pause. I don't have that kind of guts to just keep going. That takes a lot of confidence that I did not have. No, you stop, you pretend it's something else. A few times my dad would just straight up catch me on like the family computer in the middle of the night, like watching porn, or a lot of times even I wasn't even watching because I was smart since it was a shared family computer in the kitchen. I was savvy enough. I was really into reading porn growing up. I was really into literotica, right?
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah, I
would
like that
be,
too.
Yeah, so I'd be up late because that ways if you get caught. I mean,
Right.
if they're only seeing the screen, then you're not really caught because they don't know what the fuck you're reading. But the problem was a couple times, like I would get caught. They would catch me in the jerking part, which is it's really hard to pretend that's something else. Be like, I'm rubbing lotion in. I'm just trying to moisturize.
Oh my god! Oh my god! That's so funny.
So I've been caught playing. My dad would freak on me because my dad had some sort of weird masculine macho man type of thing about jerking off, or I don't even know what. It was just more like he would just say like, I can't believe you would do that. Why don't you get just a girl to do it for you? And
really?
Again, like I'm a kid who like I got bullied mercilessly. I had no confidence with myself, let alone women. Like I didn't know how to talk to girls. In my mind, I'm like, yeah, Dad, I would love a chick to do this for me, but I don't know how.
Gosh,
So
I
there-
can't believe he said that to you. I'm
Yeah.
shocked. I mean,
Yeah, my dad.
Well,
'cause my
most
dad
dads,
was like
you
the
would-
ladies. My dad was a ladies' man. And even during his marriage, still, unfortunately, was a ladies' man.
Why?
But like,
Unfortunately, the only unfortunate was that you didn't tell your mother.
yeah, right, that part of it. So I don't know. I think my dad. It was probably weird for him to have a son who was so the opposite of him. My dad was the cool guy. He had a ton of friends. He was sleeping with seniors as a freshman. I was like a chubby kid with no self-confidence and no self-worth who got bullied all the time and couldn't get invited to birthday parties. So it's probably, I don't know. It's probably had to do with that.
Look at you now. Maybe now that's why
Look
you're
at
the
you
man
now.
whore.
Really overcompensating. And my mom was way kinder. So if my mom caught me, it was more like she would pretend that's not what she saw, but she would carry the conversation. So like I wouldn't keep jerking, but she would keep talking as if that she hadn't just caught me with that. She would
That
pretend
is kind
that-
of what happened with Cam catching me and his dad.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Oh yeah, you
I
walked
caught
in.
you and Dan?
You walked in on us, and I go, I think your dad goes, we're sleeping. And you're like, yeah, right, Dad. And then you walked out of the room, and I was like, shh, like a deer in the headlights, like, oh my God, I can't believe this. I was shaking.
Zero recollection of this.
And
then, of
don't
cour-
remember, you don't want that to be your last memory of him. Don't put
Yeah,
that in his head.
that
Come
was
on.
the last memory right before he died.
Yeah.
This is what happened.
You don't want that to be his go-to.
So
let him not have that.
I walk in and after, of course his father wanted to keep going. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So I like to
I mean,
10
to
minutes.
be fair to him, I would probably also try to keep going.
Okay.
Why not?
No, you wouldn't. It was like a really awkward, uncomfortable feeling. So
Was his dad a good lay?
Okay.
yes. I will never say you. Listen, I'm not going to deny that. Yes. Would I be with someone who wasn't? Come on. Anyway.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't
So-
know that, Mother.
Well, what
The
is
end
what
of the
is the boundary?
story
Because
is-
we had this happen on the last podcast where I asked if we were talking about bukkakis. I bring up
You asked
the
her
reverse.
if she was squirting. So that,
Well, yeah, we
that's-
were talking about squirting women, and I jumped to the only person who has a vagina and was like, "Hey, are you a squirter?" And you were like, "Limit." I
was the limit.
got him the safe word in conversation. It was awesome. But what is the boundary? There clearly is some sort of limit.
Well,
of what you guys will share, not share, or talk about?
I mean, for me, it's more on her end. She can say whatever. I might be fucking repulsed.
Sure.
So I'm not going to stop her from speaking her truth. So it's really her that's going to. Well, I'll tell you, I don't know if I'll get well, I talk about my premature ejaculation occasionally on her.
Sure.
So there's not really a.
So there's nothing
limit.
you two won't talk about, but that one just made you uncomfortable.
Just
No,
now?
I don't
Both of
think
them,
that's
it
true.
seems.
I think
No, this was fine.
No,
It's more of like this is my reaction. It's gross to hear if your father was a good lay.
Right, but you've also been talking to your mom about sex for 2 years. I figured you'd.
It's more. She doesn't share that much about the details of her sex life.
Right.
No,
that's
interesting.
the interesting part is that I think it's kind of lopsided a little, that I don't share as much or any details of my current sex life with him. And he does share frequently what goes on in his life. And it's just that, and it's interesting because I think that's pretty common. Think about it. Think about it.
It is a strange. It's a double standard there.
What's the format? Do you guys have a guest? Is there always a guest on the show? Do you?
No, sometimes it's just the two of us talking about an experience we've had. Doesn't even necessarily need to relate to sex. If it's at all tangential, if it's about relationships, about discovering our own selves, it could be about that. It could be the two of us. It could be an interview. It's a whole fun thing.
I got to tell you, this has been awesome because you've been asking us questions that we kind of never even talked about before. So you're a good interviewer.
I'll stop it then. You two are pretty good yourselves. Come on now. Come on. Where do you see the show going in the future?
Well, we're actually talking with production companies right now about making a TV docuseries. So this might be the future.
You two
of the
go
show.
to an orgy together, like not like to do stuff together. We've that ship has sailed, but that fantasy's gone. No, it's just more. No, but like you two like go into one thing. So you bring a girl, you both bring dates, and then you go to the thing, and you can go to an orgy and not fuck other people. You can go and just be with the boyfriend.
The more I talk to Man Whore, the more I realize how inexperienced I really am. It's just so funny because you're a pisher. You're a young guy.
You're a pisher.
What's a pisher?
Like a young guy.
Okay.
You're a young guy.
So you guys are thinking about making a TV show? That's cool.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But otherwise, we're going to keep churning them out once a week.
Yeah, that's amazing. You ever miss a week?
Sometimes it's like a day or two passes from our traditional Thursday.
But you still have whatever
yesterday,
many weeks. It's all been in a row.
Yeah.
Doesn't that feel good?
It does.
Like people go like, how long you been doing it? 170 Wednesdays in a row.
No. Last night he calls me up. He's like, I had a really interesting experience. I think we should get on and do a podcast. I'm like, yeah, but I just got stoned. He's like, and then he announces it to the audience. The first thing he says is, well, my mother is high right now. I don't know what you said. Like, she smoked some weed. And why were you smoking weed by yourself? I'm like, what's with the third degree here?
I wasn't judgmental. I just wanted to get to the bottom of what was going on there.
I smoked weed once on my show that I've published, but that was the whole premise of it. It was someone I had hooked up with once, like years ago in Chicago, because I was crashing at her place in Chicago, and when we had hooked up, I was crashing at her place in Chicago, and she's like, "I have edibles." I was like, "Why don't we take edibles in the beginning of the podcast?"
Oh, geez.
And then we, over the course of like 2 hours, hear how I devolve because I'm not a smoker. I'm a lightweight.
Wow.
So it got bizarre and abstract. So like I don't even use the whole 2 hours. It's like I cut to like segments of us
that's
talking.
so fun. I would love to hear that.
Yeah, I think it was like episode 50. That was like at the turn at the end of like my first year.
So you don't get high when you have sex?
I have not had high sex yet. My girlfriend really wants to. Just hasn't happened yet.
It's awesome. It's way better than not high sex.
I've never had it either.
Well, if you think about it, think about what pot does to you, or weed.
Well, that's the thing. Pot just makes me sleepy.
Well, get some good stuff. You're in New York. You got to go to California or something and get some good stuff that's got more of like the indica, more happy stuff or stuff
You mean
that
sativa? Oh, no, indica. I don't see. That's how little I smoke. I don't fucking know the difference.
Sativa is the one that gets you in your head. It gets you very excitable.
That's what I meant.
Somebody recommend weed to me, like the indica, which is the one that makes you sleepy. Indica. They said get it because I have a rape fantasy with my girlfriend, but like of me getting raped, and But like I want to not. I want to feel. I want to like not. I want to be. It's more of like a molestation fantasy because I want to be like. I want to either be like unconscious and out of it.
Oh,
or-
you should do that then. Get some indica, and you're going to have such phenomenal sex. Every sense will be alive.
Right. They were suggesting get something that makes me feel heavy. So
Yeah.
it'll be like I'll want to try to like stop it, quote unquote, and move, but like I won't want to.
crazy.
So she could totally take advantage of me and do whatever, and like I don't know, like either ride me
interesting.
or just like slip a butt plug in me, let me go to sleep, something like that. That could be fun.
I cannot wait. You have to let us know when that happens.
I will. I would love nothing more than to wake up one morning next to her or not next to her. But there's a butt plug in me that I did not put there, and I don't remember going in there.
You are a
That would-
wild man whore.
Well, you know, it's called the Man Whore Podcast. We gotta get out. We gotta get rolling. So yeah, right now we're guest recording, so to speak. I guess in the Acast studio. So shout out to Acast for
Yeah.
letting
Yes.
us use their space. Very fun here.
This has been awesome.
Yeah, no, you two have been fantastic. I mean, we've been talking nonstop for a while now.
Yeah.
Is that the accurate time?
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah! So then we gotta go. I won't even ask that other question. So where can people find y'all both as a unit and individually?
Mother?
Okay, so individually, I'm at KarenLeePotter.com, and on
It's,
Instagram is
Karen
Lee-
with a K, correct?
KarenLee. And on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, KarenLeePotter.com. And and our Sex Talk with My Mom is part of Patreon as well, like you are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you can check out our Patreon. You can check us out on iTunes, Stitcher, any podcatcher at Sex Talk with My Mom. You can hit us up. Our Instagram is popping off at Sex Talk
Yeah.
with My Mom. Find us on
What-
Facebook.
I was just gonna interrupt. When you have a mom like that, your Instagram's gonna pop off.
We get a lot of messages.
58. I don't believe you. I'm a Karen Lee Potter birther. I don't. I want to see a birth certificate.
Flattery will get you everywhere. Oh, just kidding.
You can find my stuff at campoter.com and at Single Cam Comedy on Instagram
And he's
Twitter.
he's got a real funny Instagram page, too. That is very funny.
Thank you, Mother.
As a mother, as a mommy, I will say that it's really funny.
I think "Thank you, Mother" is becoming the catchphrase.
Okay.
Is that your sign off? Be like, all right, everyone, this has been Sex Talk with My Mom, and thank you, Mother.
I might start doing that. That's great. Well, thank you very much, Billy.
Thank both
thank
of you.
you.
Thank you both for coming on. This has been a blast.
So fun.
Later.
I can guarantee that all the laughter you heard during that episode from me was super genuine. Oh my. They were a fucking blast to talk to, and I'm so glad I could finally meet Cam and Karen, at least in a way. That was great. So, if you enjoyed this episode, definitely go check out my episode of their podcast, Sex Talk with My Mom. You can follow us on all the various social media. Myself, I am at TheBillyPersita on Twitter and Instagram. And you should also like the Man Whore Podcast Facebook page. We just crossed 500 likes, which I hear is a milestone of sorts. Let's keep that going. You can become a member of my fan whore community on Patreon for as little as $1 if you head on over to patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. And of course, if you're in the greater New York City area, I would love, love, love to see you at Man Whore Podcast Live this Sunday, October 8th at 8 p.m. at the People's Improv Theater. You can still get your ticket right now at manwhorepod.com/live. Thank you all so much for listening. Thank you all for downloading, for your reviews, for your shares and your mentions. You are also fantastic. If you would like to support me any bit more, go check out my sponsor, Wink, the wine subscription service that pairs wines for you and your specific palate. You can get $20 off your first month of Wink at trywink.com/manwhore. That's trywinc.com/manwhore. When I'm done editing this episode together, I'm just going to get back to putting the finishing touches on ManwhoreCon. Fuck, I am excited. This is going to be so cool. Or it's going to crash and burn. Who knows? Maybe I'll self-destruct. We'll find out. Tune in next week to see how it went. But no, it's going to be great. And I'm so stoked. And I love you all so much. Enjoy yourselves. And stay slutty.
So how do you monetize this thing? Cam and I are trying to figure this out.